Hey guys, welcome back to Pause, welcome back to Planet Coaster. So this is episode 2 of our Valhalla build series. So if you didn't catch the first episode, I recommend going back and checking that one out first, as it explains exactly what we are building. I show some pictures of the actual ride, but I will go into a little bit of the basics of what Valhalla is for anyone out there who doesn't know. So Valhalla is a dark ride that is located in Blackpool Pleasure Beach in the UK. It is one of my favourite rides of pretty much all time, to be honest. It's definitely the best dark ride in the UK, and I love it. I really do love it. So that's why I decided to recreate Valhalla here in Planet Coaster. So in part 2 today, we continue a bit more of the Rockwork. And I build the first scene, so this section and the first bit of the lift hill. Now it takes me around about an hour and 50 minutes worth of footage that's time-lapsed here. I do the start of theming, it's not finished. I do the lighting and the audio, which again is almost there but not quite finished. And I am planning to do something with screens in this section as well, so we'll have a play with that in the next episode or down the line somewhere. So generally, the way the first scene works as you get onto the ride is you go through a waterfall at the start, which turns off and takes you sort of inside a kind of cave area. You've got a kind of ominous feeling in the cave. To the right hand side there is a two-headed wolf animatronic that comes out, accompanied with some smoke and strobe lights. Then you continue around the corner, some more rockwork. You've got some big fire. Don't know what to describe it, like columns that are on fire either side of the lift hill, and then you enter the lift hill. As you're going up, it's got a kind of circular rockwork around the track. And then there's a kind of skull/Viking helmet that appears at the top of the lift hill. Now in the real ride, the actual face within the helmet is a projection, and it does talk to you. I mean, the audio is very, very quiet on the actual ride. It says something like "Welcome to Valhalla" or "Enter Valhalla" or something like that, which you'll hear later on. I did sort of make my own version of that audio. As a trigger effect on the lift hill, but you'll hear that towards the end. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe I might do something with screens with that face, possibly. I don't know. We'll see when we get to it. Anyway, so what I'm doing right now here is I'm just starting work on the area where the wolves would be. So like I said, there's a two-headed wolf that comes out just at the start of the ride. Smoke, and there is some lighting, strobe lighting effects. So we don't have a wolf in the game. Certainly don't have a two-headed wolf in the game. So what I went for instead was a two-headed dragon, which is the best with what I could do with the pieces we've got. So there's the bad boy. I am going to change his colour. I just haven't got around to it yet, which I'm assuming. I'm pretty sure you can do that with the dragons. I just haven't done it yet. So he's not staying red. So yeah, he's there. And this is where I'm just starting work on my sequence and my strobe lights. So I put some big floods in there while I was building, just so I could see what I was doing. So generally the way I did this is I put sort of 4 or 5 of the white lights just dotted around the area, set them all to triggerable and all to come on for 0.1 second. Then in the display sequencer, I selected them all at random intervals and put random times, and then it loops the sequence and creates a kind of strobe lightning, thunder and lightning kind of effect, which you can sort of see is coming together just here. So it's a very basic effect, but it does look really good on the ride. It gives it a very nice sort of level of depth. And because I've got the lights on all different angles, you get the shadows and stuff as well, which is kind of how a real park does it. So yeah, I set kind of I think it's about a 5-second sequence altogether, so it's not very much. but also I put some little bits of fire just there, so when the lights aren't on, you can still see a bit of theming. They're only very subtle. And I also stick in some speakers around the area. I think I'll do that in a little while. So I add ambient effects of the cave noise. We stick in a kind of growl noise that is near a speaker, near the actual, I'm going to say dragon, but it is meant to be a wolf. And I also put in some just generic noises in the area, thunder and lightning and that as well. So it kind of just has the same feel as the start of the real ride does. Like I say, it's not an exact replica, obviously. It's just heavily inspired by it. I'm going to try and recreate as much of the scenes as I can in the game. So that's kind of the tester, really. It makes... Oh, this way, I'm just doing the speaker now. So yeah, it's a good way for me to get back into the game by just seeing what I can and can't do. And I think this is a good way to do that. So this way I'm putting in some speakers. Like I said, I do stick in a few various different bits of audio, sound effects and that kind of thing. Just to make it a little bit better. I want to give it loads of layers of depth, this ride. I want to make sure it's as real as it can be, and this first scene really does do that. It sets you up the mood for the rest of the experience. The other thing I do add toward the end of this video, well actually it's not on the time lapse, but you will see it when I play the slight POV of this area at the end. I have got the official ride audio in this ride now. All in game, nothing's done in post, it's all in game through the in-game speakers. So potentially I might get some kind of YouTube telling me off for the music, but it's fine. I want it to be as authentic as possible, so I'm using the actual audio from Blackpool Pleasure Beach. So yeah, so you'll hear that at the end. It plays sort of from the station up this area. It does play in certain bits around the ride, but it's pretty quiet in other areas, but it is quite dominant in this first scene, so that's the reason why I've made sure it's there on my recreation. So I was just trying to find some best smoke and steam and things for this area. Because it's so dark, smoke, mist and steam doesn't seem to work in the dark. It's very strange how it works in Planet Coaster, but as you can see I kept putting things down and it just wouldn't show up. So I can only assume it's just some kind of issue. I even kept talking outside just to check it does work. But I think it's just an issue with the way the lighting system works in the game. So I went for the sort of black smoke. I'm going to do a bit more with that. That was kind of a test to see how it looked in POV. It works in a way. I think it needs a bit more. It's a shame it ended up black, really. So this next bit is where I was making my kind of fire column. I had a couple of plays around at it. I was trying to, in the real ride, it's kind of like a metal cage with fire inside it, and I couldn't find a piece in the game that really looked like what I wanted it to do. So what I did instead is I used these kind of columns and then these swords. So I kind of put them around the edge in a not a choreographed or specific way. It's meant to look quite random and rustic, and I think it looks quite good actually in the end. It gives it a kind of authentic feel. So that's what I do. That's what I'm doing here with these swords. If you were wondering what's going on, and the fire goes on top of that. And then I did say this is a blueprint just to make it easier to import it back inside my cave. So that's the other thing as well. If you're wondering why I am doing all the work in the cave already, I just want it to be. I want the lighting and everything to be done as I move through. I want each scene to be done before I move on. So that's the reason why I've built everything in the cave and I'm faffing around inside it. It's quite difficult with the camera in this cave. Anyway, so this is where I am now putting in my towers. So as you can see, they're not too bad. They're not like the real ride, but they're not too far off. So that's those. Take out the spotlights and that gives it a nice little glowing effect. I really did have some trouble with the camera in this scene. So this is where I think, what can I do here? So it's a bit too open, so in the end I do make another little hill in the rocks just to hide off, just to block off the areas, because I want the focal point on this first scene to be the dragon, and then you go around the corner into the lift hill. So I do lift that up a little bit so you can't see the lift hill and the fire until you get around the bend. And I also just covered up the speakers and the sequencer. Again, just so I want it to look quite realistic. I don't want there to be too many speakers, lighting, things on show. Everything should be hidden in a realistic location, and that's what I'm going for here. So then, like I said, at the top of the lift hill, we've got a Viking helmet with a projection in it. For now, I'm using this skull head, as it's relatively to scale in terms of what the ride does have. Like I said, I might use a screen there and just put screens within the eyes, and then maybe something with the mouth, and try and do something with that. Like I said, I'm still a bit unsure. I've not done anything with screens yet. I haven't played around with them, so that'll be something for another time to see if it will work. So that's the general scene for the top of the hill. Putting a little bit of light in just to give it just to make it stand out a little bit. And I have a couple of like steam and falling rocks effects, which aren't in the real ride, but I've got them, so I might as well use them. A little bit more lighting just here, because it kind of looked a bit dark, so I thought I'd just highlight the fire a little bit by just sticking in a couple of reds and oranges. Yeah, nothing spectacular, just a little bit there. Then I found these nice little skull lights and I thought, oh look, they might be quite nice on here. Again, it kind of sets you up for there's something not quite right in this place, and the entrance area's got these like skulls and things like that. That's what I was going for. So here I was just blocking off a little bit more of the track just to get it a bit darker inside to finish off my lighting. I am planning to just get this ride in some kind of warehouse at the end, so it's going to be very strange looking, but I'm planning, I think there'll be a warehouse built around the Rockwork to make it a little bit more authentic. So now I was just enclosing it a little bit more to make it a little bit darker and give it a more sense of it being a cave rather than just a big open space. Again, I put a little bit more height to the rock to make it a bit thicker, so it's a lot darker inside, and it kind of gave the effect that I wanted it to. Again, fiddling with the camera, so apologies if it's making you sick watching this. Just look away, it's fine. So I was trying to get some kind of spotlight here on the lift hill, so I just put one of the big spots in, kind of a distance, and colour it in, so it gives it a nice glow but nothing too much. Then I just pick out either side of the skull face, just again to give it a focus as you go into the lift hill. I go for like a red and blue kind of ominous, I can't say the word, you know what I mean, like a creepy vibe as you're going up the hill. So again, block a bit more off to give it a bit more darkness to the I really struggled here with the camera. it's really hard going through all these caves, so again, like I apologise if you sat there about to throw up because of the fast movements. This is where I put some more cave audio in, just to follow on the cave vibe through the ride. And here we go. So that is the build from today. So here is a little POV of what we have done. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, drop us a like and subscribe down below. And there'll be more Planet Coaster coming very, very soon. So for now, enjoy Valhalla. Okay guys, welcome back. So, as you can see, we have got all the Rockwork in place. I say it's still not finished, I still want to do a few tweaks here and there. But basically, that's the gist of the outside of the building. I've started the foundations of the station. The station I am going to try and make quite similar to the real life one. And that's what we're going to focus on in the next episode, to try and get the outside all sorted. So that's where we'll leave it for today. Like I said, the next one will focus on the outside. So thank you guys ever so much for watching. There'll be more from Planet Coaster and from Valhalla very soon. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.